August 1st, 2026. Dear diseased me. Have you ever taken a moment to stop and Google your symptoms of what you think you may have? Has it ever made you feel any better? So, there are days where my labels feel too much for me. Anxiety, bipolar, OCD. They feel like more like death sentences than they do of mental illnesses. Maybe that's because mental illnesses are generally something you don't recover from. I'm being told that because I am bipolar, I will have to medicate for the rest of my life. I will probably go to therapy for the rest of my life. To me, that makes life hard. Not just the symptoms itself, but to know that there's some imbalance in my head that keeps me from just being. Every day, something new seems to happen with me. And I have to decipher whether it's regular me or mental incapacitated me. When really, those should be the same. They're both just me. Today, I watched a TikTok, and it was just a funny TikTok. A guy was listening to music. They had mixed two songs together, and it talked about how people with ADHD could hear both songs perfectly, the lyrics perfectly, and understand what was being said, and that someone who was normal wouldn't get it. I got so excited because I could instantly hear both songs. I can switch back and forth on which ones I was singing. I could even do all of that while reading the comments on the page, and I was just really excited because, wow, I have this skill. So then I go and I talk to my husband, who's diagnosed with ADHD, and I have him listen to it, and he laughs because that happens to him all the time, where his mind does that. It just processes all of it at once. I'm like, well, yeah, I understand that. You're ADHD, so that makes sense that your brain does that, but me as a normal person, I was able to do it. And what she responded, do you not think you have ADHD? No, I don't have ADHD. I've never been diagnosed with ADHD. And he says, you recognize you have some symptoms of ADHD, right? No, I don't. Never have I ever heard that I'm symptomatic of ADHD. There's nothing wrong with that. No, there isn't anything wrong with that, but clearly, anxiety, bipolar, OCD. And so then I do what I usually do with things like that, and I sit in my office, and I Google. Women symptoms for ADHD, adult women symptoms for ADHD, comorbidity of ADHD and OCD, and I am just taking a deep dive. And some of the things that I've read, well, they didn't really sound like me. But there were a couple that did. And I didn't like it. And it wasn't that ADHD is bad or that it's problematic. My first fear was, great, something else I would need to be medicated for. I live my life based on what I have to fix. That's what the OCD is for. It's me trying to fix things and have control over things that otherwise I don't have control over. I can't afford any more diagnoses. And so the question becomes, like, would you get it checked out? Would you test to see if that were the case? No. Even if it would help you? No. I just wouldn't want to know. How sad is that, though? How sad is it? Mental health is so stigmatized that we would rather just not talk about it than to get the help that we need. I remember when my therapist and I had first talked about me being diagnosed with things, and I didn't like it at all. I was upset. I cried. I instantly felt there was something wrong with me. And she tried to explain to me that doesn't mean something is wrong with me, but it does mean that I have different imbalances in my head that could use medication. No matter how you worded it, I was broken. I needed to be fixed. I didn't like it. And then I heard some of the diagnoses, and I hated it even more. Anxiety sucks, but I felt like it was something I could live with. Yes, people have been telling me for years that they thought I had OCD tendencies, and I do, but nothing that I felt like infected my life badly. So I like to listen to the volume of my TV on the same thing all the time. So I have to park my car in the same area, or else I feel really uncomfortable. Yes, I have to check my locks multiple times before I go to bed, or else I can't go to sleep. Yes, I use the same bathroom, the same stall, every time I go. These were minor inconveniences, not anything to be concerned about. Bipolar was different. That one was a harder one to swallow. I can't fix it. It's more than just a minor inconvenience. Mania and depression are really hard. But it's not just that they're really hard, it's that our society as a whole mocks mental health. I want you to think about how many times you've heard someone say, "Oh my gosh, that's so bipolar." And that is used as the idea that something changes so quickly, so frequently, that it doesn't make any sense. The weather here in Kansas is so bipolar. That person is so bipolar. And then there's those of us who suffer with being bipolar who have to hear that over and over again. And it's always in a negative connotation. There's no positive way of saying, "Oh, that person's so cool, I want to hang out with them because they're bipolar." It's always, "Oh, the weather is so frustrating because it changes so often." But then what does that say about me? I started being concerned about what I shared with people as far as my diagnosis. Because people have the tendency to judge so quickly on what that means. And then I realized it didn't help to not talk about it. As a matter of fact, it would completely go against what I stood for. Because if this idea was that bipolar fit into this box, I should fit into the box. But then when I would ask those same people, "Well, would you believe if I had bipolar?" No, not at all. But I do. We are so quick to judge people in their mental health that we don't even take the time to get to know them or to listen to them from any other standpoint. He's ADHD, he must act like that. He's autistic, he must act like that. Why can't we just be? Is it that a person is autistic or that they have autism? Am I bipolar or do I have bipolar? Am I just a sum of the things that I'm diagnosed? Or do I have some traits of those things that I'm diagnosed with? I find that when I talk to other people who have similar diagnoses than me, they are very quiet about acknowledging them. "Yeah, I'm bipolar." In which I always respond, "Welcome to the club. Same queen, same. Same king, same. And it always results in a smile. Because it's somebody recognizes me. They know what I'm going through. I don't have to overly explain why my thoughts run the way they do, why I hear things with the inflection that I do, why I react the way that I do. No. I get it. And even still, even if you don't get it, why would you label that as crazy? Why can't it just be different than you understand it? Just because something is not for you, made by you, understood by you, doesn't make it crazy. It just makes it not for you. I have a strong obsession with pens. If I pulled out the bags of pens I have around me, people would start to wonder why. Some people collect trains. Some people collect coins. Some collect shells. Some collect stamps. We can see people do those things and just be like, oh, that's just really cool. That's what their interest is. In my field, children get attached to all kinds of things. Maybe it's train sets. Maybe it's switches. Maybe it is Daniel Tiger, Lucas the Spider. It's all the same thing. That's their comfort level showing like, hey, this calms me down. This makes me feel okay. Then why would we mock it? Oh, that's that kid that really likes this. That's so-and-so. He has a special interest in. My husband and my best friend were laughing today when we were talking about the symptoms of ADHD. One of them is starting projects and not finishing them. And I felt really called out. And I laughed it off and I joked and played with it and was like, haha, don't even say anything. And they were like, we're not, but you're getting really offensive. It's not something I mean to do. I don't go into a project thinking, I'm going to spend all this money on this thing and then lose interest in it. And I know, I do that. I have all these things around my office for hobbies. Resin, epoxy, scrapbooking, pens, pencils, markers, crayons, coloring books. I have stuff out in the garage. He even asked me, how's that book going that you're writing? And I said, really well, I've been working on it. And his response was, when did you start it? When did I start it? Well, yeah, I started it a while ago. Yeah, it's taken me a minute. I don't want to be known by the things that I start and stop, the things that I succeed or fail at. And sometimes mental health has a way of doing that. So instead of asking, hey, why'd you pivot from this? It's how many things have you started and stopped? Well, yeah. There's been quite a few. And I don't know how to always explain the reason why. It's not that my interest in them die. I still love the idea of wood art. I still would like to go out there and do it. I just don't. I was having a lot of fun while I was doing it. I really enjoy crafting and making things look pretty. It's unfortunate that everything is likened to something you might have. It's unfortunate that at this day and age, labels are so important. Are you straight? Are you gay? Are you lesbian? Are you trans? Are you cis? I'm just me. I am Jamesha. I am born in September, excited for my birthday coming up. I am adventurous, but I like to plan things. I am highly organized, and sometimes I get overwhelmed and things become a clutter. But I'm still me. Sometimes I hyper-focus on things, and other times I just want to lay on my couch and do nothing. I'd love it to be that I could just be. You could just be. People weren't labeling you and fitting you into this little box that you don't fit in. I wear so many hats. Sometimes I'm a cook, sometimes a baker, sometimes I'm a chauffeur, sometimes I'm a housekeeper. If I can wear all those titles, all those hats, and do all those things, and not be stuck in one position, one field, why can't my mental health be the same? Why is it that my mental health puts me into a box I can't climb out of? So for me, it looks like being diseased. I can't escape it. I can't get rid of it. It's just there inside of me. I can't have surgery to remove it. I medicate for it, but it doesn't go away. But at the end of the day, I'm still just me. I don't choose to be anybody else. Do I wish life was easier? Yes. But overall, I'm comfortable being me. I only know how to be me. So if you're out there and you are feeling like you're anxious and you're bipolar, you're ADHD, you're autistic, you're whatever the world labels you as, I want you to remind yourself that first you're human. And then maybe you have symptoms of these other things. They aren't who you are. They're a part of you, but they aren't who you are. And I think that it's time that we are able to express loudly, it's just a part of who I am. Yes, I may have bipolar. Yes, I may have symptoms of ADHD. It's just a part of who I am. That doesn't make me me. So my bite of pie today was that I listened to the critiques and I listened to what I could be and what I might have. And I am not going to obsess about it. I'm not going to let it overcome me. I'm not going to let it worry me. Because at the end of the day, I'm still going to be me. It still doesn't make me who I am. And I hope you realize that too. So, just remember, today is another page in the story. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be written. And before you close your journal tonight, ask yourself, what was your bite of pie today? Until tomorrow, love you loud.